back to a time in your life when you felt neglected and unwanted. Now multiply that feeling by 50. This is what the children of Ciudad de Angeles have felt like at some point in their lives. How could somebody go through this and continue to live a normal life? Today I will tell you about the orphanage of Ciudad de Angeles in Cozumel, Mexico, which I have visited twice before. I will share with you how they take in children and how they lead them and raise them in a strong, positive Christian environment. I will explain the history of Ciudad, tell you about some of the angels and where they have come from, and describe to you the plans for the future and the direction that the orphanage intends to take. Ciudad de Angeles is a Christian children's home on the island of Cozumel. It is a safe and healthy environment and is focused on all the means, the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, that all the children will need to go far in life. The goal of Ciudad de Angeles is to raise abandoned and neglected children to become Christian adults who would grow up and be responsible citizens. The founders of Ciudad de Angeles are Phil and Donna Waldron, who were missionaries on the island of Cozumel and realized that they could do something about all of the orphan children. In the beginning, in 2002, there was a donated rental house and the first children started to arrive. All of this was found from the website ciudaddeangeles.org. The American director is Dennis Wilson. I talked to his daughter Valerie, who is 17, and realized that their family had been there for 5 to 6 years and were completely immersed in the Mexican culture. This year, Dennis resigned, and now they moved back to Texas in the United States. The Ciudad campus currently has 31 children from ages 4 to 17. There are 4 homes, 2 for the boys and 2 for the girls, a garden, basketball courts, and a resource building. They started building on 5 acres of land in 2007. Construction is still underway but is making progress. There are 2 important things that you should know about Ciudad. Although it's an orphanage, the kids are not set up for adoption. Once they are there, they're there until they're 18 and are raised with house parents, and once they're 18, they have a choice to leave or stay and work on the campus. Another important thing to remember is that sibling groups are kept together. The biggest one is 5 siblings, and they don't take them unless they can keep them together. Many times you hear about an orphanage and people working there, but not all about the children. I've been to Ciudad de Angeles twice before and can tell you that these kids truly are angels. Today I'll tell you about a sibling group and 2 of the children. The first sibling group would be Sulema, Marcos, and Luis. They arrived in September of 2005, and after their father had abandoned them and their mother died, Sulema was forced to mature way beyond her age level, and they all have a protective sense to them. But they all have a great sense of humor. One of the stories that really I love to tell is when I was down there my first year, Marcos came up to me and asked me in Spanish how to say Mexico. So he was like, "Cómo se dice Mexico" in English. And I worked with him for 5 minutes on making the X sound, and it was super funny because he couldn't get it. Carlos is 13, and he arrived on November 21st of 2003 after being in an extremely abusive relationship. He has a great personality and is thankful for anything that is given to him. Daniela is 6, and she has 3 brothers and a sister. They arrived on October 22nd in 2008 after living in what was recorded in a Cancun newspaper as the poorest of the poor. She's a little princess and loves to get as much attention as she can. Ciudad has come a long way in 10 years and are hoping to achieve their goal by going even further. They are continuing to build on the original campus, and eventually they're planning on having 10 houses with up to 100 kids and several resource buildings. Along with that, they're going to expand to Cuernavaca, Mexico. They're planning to set up an orphanage that's very similar to the first, and that will help the overall mission of Ciudad de Angeles and help more Mexican children while limiting the growth rate of the Cozumel campus. Today I have told you about the Ciudad de Angeles orphanage. I have shared with you the history and a little bit about some of the angels and the future for Ciudad. There is always help needed, and just by looking at the website, you can be a part by helping spread the word. There's a lot of bad things that could happen to a person, but See Your Dad shows that there's still hope. There's still a reason to fight for what you believe in. There are over 1.6 million orphaned and abandoned kids in Mexico alone, and Ciudad de Angeles is just the beginning of a way that can change the life for these kids. And then I have some pictures up here of all the kids. So, are there any questions? Yes?
Well, you said that they don't take the kids unless they can keep together with siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do they do? Do they just leave them out on the streets, or?
The whole point of it is to keep families together and make sure that they feel safe. So, the kids that they take in are like the least likely to get adopted in all of Mexico. So I don't really know for sure what they do, but I know that they won't take them if they can't keep them together.
Probably a situation of if they can't take them in, they might work towards finding a place that can take.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they don't just
leave them.
leave them, I'm sure. How did you get this opportunity to go and meet these people?
About 5 years ago, we switched churches and went up to Woodbury, and they go down there. They started going down there. I didn't go the first year, but we decided to go the second year, and I'm going again in a month. So,
Very cool.
yeah, excited.
Thank you.